will be a closing statement too. If you want to continue the discussion afterwards tonight, please have a look at any of our hosts' blogs. Most of them are also on Twitter, and you will or should all have been emailed details of how to take part in an exit poll after tonight's performance. We ask you only to wait until there has been a performance before spending your answers. So without further ado, can I call on Andy to take his opening statement?
Thank you very much, Gabby. Good evening, everybody. Your task and our task in the months ahead goes beyond just finding a new leader for the Labour Party. It's to put the heart and soul back into our party. We were a good government, but in 13 years we left a little hollowed out, and too often we traded in modest, incremental change without setting out an ambitious vision of the kind of society we wanted to see. So going forward, we must recapture something which Labour has lost, but which your organisations have long embodied, and that's a spirit of idealism. So that means bringing forward big ideas in the best traditions of the Labour Party and the Labour movement, such as a national care service, the 21st century equivalent of the National Health Service, replacing fear and anxiety with peace of mind and celebrating old age. It means being passionate, as I am, about the fact that people's lives and life chances in this country are still determined by the postcode of the bed that they are born in, and kids without connections, ordinary kids, find it too hard to break down the elites that still run our country. But at all times it means speaking and connecting with ordinary families who often find that the odds are stacked against them and that they feel trapped by their circumstances. So that's what you will get from me. Idealism mixed with realism, someone who can reconnect the whole Labour family and then reconnect Labour with Britain. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Gabby. I want to start by thanking all of you warmly, not just for coming tonight, but for the extraordinary efforts that many of you made in the course of the general election campaign. I think it's no exaggeration to say that the membership and supporters of the Labour Party saved the leadership in the 2010 general election campaign. And the task we have now is to turn that extraordinary resilience that was shown on May the 6th into resistance against a government bent on targeting communities that we represent, but also a resurgence in opposition. It's actually been a remarkable 6 weeks, not just the 400 more councillors, not just the 20,000 people who've joined the Labour Party since May the 6th, but the 4 weeks of this election campaign have shown something that I think is very important. The values that are shared by all 5 candidates on this panel are absolutely overwhelming. Anyone in this country who is a child without a decent education, a community without hope, a family struggling to make ends meet, has got a friend in each and every one of the people on this panel. But the question for us is how we turn the poetry of values into the prose of real change in people's lives. I think that means we've got to have a different approach to policy. I will want to discuss with you tonight why we should be more proud of our record, more humble about our mistakes, and much, much clearer in our offer. But we need more than new policies. We've got to have a different approach to politics. That means in part changing the rules by which we run our party. That's why I propose that we should elect the party chair from the membership rather than having it decided by the leader. But there's something more important than rules. There's culture. And above all, we've got to change the culture of negative briefing, often anonymous, to the newspapers that has so tarnished our party over the last 10 or 12 years. We're all agreed that the Blair-Brown era is over. But we have a task more historic than that. We have to reinvent progressive politics for the 21st century. For that, we need a leader who can fire the imagination of the public as well as the party. Someone who can unite all the different talents that exist in the party. Someone who can lead victory in the battle of ideas. But also someone